Hello everybody, my name is Hollow, and today we will be playing Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for the Sega Genesis. Releasing in 1992, Sonic 2 introduces several key concepts that appear throughout the rest of the series, such as the Death Egg, a 7th Chaos Emerald, and Super Sonic. Before starting, a few quick notes. The game is running off of the Fusion emulator, which can run Master System, Game Gear, Genesis, 32X, and Sega CD games, and will be used for all games run from these consoles. This will be a 100% run of Sonic 2, collecting all 7 Chaos Emeralds and getting the game's good ending. So with that out of the way, let's get started. Here we are, starting off an Emerald Hill. Obviously, it's going to be one of, not the first of many, but one of the very first Green Hill clones, as I like to call them. Every game almost always has one, so obviously the sequel to the first game, or I guess the proper sequel, there was obviously 2 games before this if you watched my other videos, would also have one. Fun thing to note is that because Chaos Emeralds are no longer tied to one per special or one per act, due to them being changed from being at the end of the stage to just being checkpoint oriented. Due to the nature of how checkpoints are laid out in Sonic 2, you can actually get all 7 Chaos Emeralds at the very start of the game within Emerald Hill Zone. So I'm going to try to do that in this run. We'll see if I succeed. Anyways, here's our first special stage. So let's get started. So, here is our first special stage. The half-pipe format. It's a staple, and just like with every other special stage gimmick, it's very contested on whether or not it's actually something good and something liked in the community. Personally, I don't really mind any special stage format, or at least most of them. We'll see later on. But, the only real thing holding these special stages back is that you cannot really see that well ahead of you. In the Christian Whitehead remaster, it's not as bad, because instead of it being drawn from pixels, there's an actual 3D model of this half-pipe, and the rings are rendered far out in advance, so you can actually see what's coming up ahead of you. So, this first one at least isn't that hard, so there's nothing really to talk about. One thing to note is that you kind of, later on there will be spike balls that are designed to hit you and then make you lose rings to make it harder for you to actually get to the end, because you need, obviously, a ring count in order to grab the Chaos Emerald. There will be like rings and stuff of spike balls. You want to jump over those a bit earlier than you would normally, because if you don't, Tails will get hit by it because his AI lags behind you by like a couple seconds or so. And he'll get hit, and he'll lose more rings than you will, because he'll inevitably end up collecting enough rings to where he's basically a necessity if you want to get through the stage. Even if you don't try to let him get all those rings. It's just bound to happen. Anyways, we're just going back because rings will always respawn after you go through a special stage, so you just kind of want to try to collect 50 rings again as quickly as possible, just so that you're able to have enough for the next special stage in the zone, wherever it may be. I believe we're coming up on another one. Ooh, watch it. Yeah, coconuts are a bit annoying in this zone. If you aren't careful, they can just kind of screw you over. Here's our second special stage. We're just getting through these really quick. Yeah, there's not much to say about these special stages. I can just kind of go over what's going on screen, but you guys can probably just see that yourself. One thing to note is, obviously, due to it trying to be harder after each special stage, the ring count will go up. Or the ring requirement will go up for each checkpoint, both consecutively in one special stage and in, like, just in general after each special stage, and then each section of a special stage. So, obviously, by the end of it, I think the highest ring requirement you'll see is like 210 rings or so. But for now, I mean, as long as we don't get hit here, we already have enough rings to get the Chaos Emerald. We just need to be a bit cautious. Another thing, if you lightly tap left or right, depending on which side of the... oh, come on, Tails. If you lightly tap left or right, depending on which side of the pipe you're on, you can keep yourself up on that wall, because Sonic or Tails will naturally start to fall back down into the center of the pipe. So if you just kind of want to keep that angle, just lightly tap it every once, like in a rhythm or so, and it can usually just go over well for you. 2 out of 7. Be careful. You lose all your rings after entering a special stage, and that usually isn't good for living. So now, if you stand directly underneath the coconut, they can't hit you. So that's a good thing to note if you're trying to just kind of keep yourself safe from their evil melon grasp. I don't know why I said melon. I think it's just because coconuts and melons are somewhat similar. Even then, no, they aren't. What are we talking about? Watch out. If you want to go up through the corkscrew, you need to build up some speed. Otherwise, it just won't go. I believe... maybe I was wrong. There's like 4 or so Chaos Emeralds in this one. Oof. A spin dash jump is generally pretty good for getting height quickly, but I don't know if I'm able to pull this one off right here. Yeah. I believe that there's a Chaos Emerald up there. I may be wrong. Or not a Chaos Emerald, it's a checkpoint. One thing I haven't had to go over, though, is that if you've played a Sonic game before, you'll probably know this. There's a timer up at the top, and if you end up going over 10 minutes, then you end up basically getting... I don't know if it's a game over or you just lose a life, but, ooh, yeah, I'm not getting up there from this end. I believe there's another... So I know that there's one right here. Oh, is it just... I think it's that there's 3 Chaos Emerald locations in Act 1 and then 4 in Act 2. That may be it. So you want to be careful whenever you're trying to go through here, because that coconut can throw a coconut at you, and then you lose all your rings directly before you enter into the special stage, and that's not fun. So in the meantime, let's just grab this 3rd Chaos Emerald, shall we? Careful to jump there, and again, and a 3rd time, and then you go right, then left. Then be careful for the grouping there, and then get the rings that are directly after it. And then somewhat larger trail. Then here's one of the loops. Jump over it, jump to the right to get past it. Then this next section is basically a game of chicken. You want to try to get as many rings as you can before the loop passes. You generally do want to jump a bit earlier, because what'll happen is that by the time you jump, and then by the time Tails jumps, he has grabbed the remaining rings that you didn't grab. Okay, so we have the rings here, but I believe it's going to try to psych us out with another jump right here. Yes. Another thing to note, if you jump, and then you end up landing in ball form on a spike, you'll break it, but you won't get damaged. Jump. 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 Nice. Good job. That was flawless. 3 out of 7. It's going great so far. Anyways, this is all the checkpoints, I believe, for Act 1, so the rest of it we'll just have to get from Act 2. So you can just, if you're trying to follow this along, you can just go to the end of the stage at that point. So yeah, there's Act 1. Alright, here we are in Act 2. So, don't take that spring. It'll land you right into these coconuts, and there's not a chance that you're going to be able to defend yourself due to you not being able to turn back into a ball while in the air. So in the meantime, just keep grabbing rings. One thing to note, each game has, like in these early days, before, about Sonic Adventure, probably, yeah, Sonic Adventure, each, like, area, because obviously, Sonic 1, both versions that we've played take place on South Island, and then, I don't know where Sonic 2 Master System takes place, but then Sonic 2 Genesis takes place on West Side Island. Each individual area has its own... The original idea, before Sonic Adventure kind of canonized it to be one set of Chaos Emeralds that just move everywhere needed, was that each area in each game had its own set of Chaos Emeralds, which explains differences in color, in shape, and in quantity. So that's why... That was the original reason why Sonic 1 had 6 Chaos Emeralds, and why Sonic 2 has 7, and why Sonic 2 Master System still has 6, and then why games like Sonic R or Sonic the Fighters have 8. And then you have Spinball, which for some reason has 16, but we'll get into that a bit later. So in the meantime, this section right here, also I just have completely failed to talk about Sonic 2, or this special stage. But in this section right here, just keep going back and forth on either end of the pipe, and you'll give you trail springs. Anyways, here we are, 150 rings, we only need 13, we should be good. Be careful, in the center is where all the spikes will be spawning, and then the rings will basically just be spawning anywhere else. Anyways, yeah, nifty little bit of Sonic lore that's kind of been lost to time is that there was originally like a metric crap ton of Chaos Emeralds, just kind of scattered everywhere, which is kind of the explanation that ended up being used in the Archie comics until they also kind of decanonized it into being only 7 Chaos Emeralds. But, yeah, whatever. Here's the 4. That's also explaining why there's a pink emerald for some reason in this game. We have to run back this way, because the next checkpoint is eerily close. Also, the item box is reset as well, so if you, like, lose a shield before entering the special stage, you can get it back, I guess. Anyways. Running through here, just getting all these rings. Here we are. Go through here, and right here is the next checkpoint. Then, come on, there you are. Here's 5. Here we are at 5. Orange and green is a bit of an odd color palette. This isn't a Halloween game, but, you know, whatever. Alright. Just watch out. All of the, almost all of the ring clusters are in this triangle shape, which is darn near it is impossible on single player to grab enough, or grab all of them in the cluster. But in multiplayer, because unlike in just what it says is the 2-player mode, there is 2-player mode, like co-op, where player 2 just controls Tails, but it's stuck on Sonic's screen. Tails can be controlled by the second controller in these stages. And it makes collecting rings a lot easier, because A, he doesn't like behind you, and B, he has half of a brain cell to dodge things. Oh, come on. That's on me. Alright. But, yeah, the rings all just end up showing up along these walls now. And up there. And again. And then you have this loop to end it off. If you didn't have enough rings yet. But yeah, see how we already have like 225 by the 5th emerald? The last emerald only gets up to 190, but still, it gets pretty large in scale. Anyways, that's 5, only 2 more. More rings, because this is going to be happening every time. You also want to just watch out for the spikes on the ground. Next up, we do want to, we want to head on the upper route instead of down low for the rings. Is dodge, get up here, drop down in. There we go. Alright. There we are. Next up, dodge there. One down. Oh, that's rough. Alright. There we are. Ingenuity. Okay, yeah. Spring. Spring. Here we are. Is it up here? Maybe. Ooh, yeah, what it is you go over here. So the last special stage location is directly before the boss. So I believe then that what you want to do is you actually want to drop down here. That spring back there, you want to grab that. So then you want to jump down. Don't press anything on the D-pad until about now. You'll land on top of where you need to be. Hit that spring. And watch out. Jump over. And here's the 6th special stage. Nice. Alright, here's our 6th special stage. This is where things start really getting dicey. You want to try to collect as many rings on your own without Tails grabbing them. And you'll see at the end of this section why I say that. Obviously, we're not doing that too good of a job right now, considering Tails is 10. But we'll get there when we get there. Dodge that. This is what I'm talking about. You need to follow this line. The problem is that Tails will get blasted in the face. So, as long as you have a lot more rings than him, it shouldn't be that bad. Now here's our 140 mark. This is another grouping of rings into a jump. So this one to the next. Ooh, that's a rough one to miss. But it's 140, so as long as we keep grabbing these, we should be good. Yeah, we have enough. Alright. Just keep grabbing them, and then... where is it? There isn't any. The game is playing mind tricks on me, but here we are. Alright, 220. This is where it really starts going to shit. Specifically because of... oh my god, we actually almost got through that without dying. Alright. Keep jumping over. And hopefully you'll be able to grab enough rings by the end of it. It's really dependent on luck. Come on. I believe we have it. Yes. Alright. This curve... alright, Alright, we have it. Nice. Okay, that's kind of the one that I'm always worrying about, because the last section is always kind of screws you over. We should be good to go whenever it comes to the 7th one. We just need to get a run back through everything, grab 50 rings. Nice. We're about to have our... There's a checkpoint, just watch out not to grab it yet. We just need to grab our rings, and once we have them, we'll be good to go. So... Oop. Not getting it from that one. So instead... Climb up here. Grab this invincibility just so that you don't have to worry about the rest of these guys hitting you on your way back to the Chaos Emerald. Or the special stage. I keep saying that, doesn't matter, we have it. Alright, jump in. Alright, here's our home stretch. Similar to this, with getting all the Chaos Emeralds in the first zone, you're able to collect all of the Chaos Emeralds in Sonic and Knuckles, or it might just be the Super Emeralds, because they did add spots. In Sonic and Knuckles, you're able to collect all of them in Mushroom Hill Zone. Going back to actually talking about the special stage, this area is similar to the one section from the 4th special stage's clusters. No. Alright, that's all of them. Nice. This is similar to the last special stage, I believe section 2, where it's back and forth with the rings. As long as you just are quick enough and don't let Tails be stupid, should be good. Stay on this wall for like 4 ring sets, and you'll just get a whole bunch of rings. Our last goal is, I believe, 210, so it's really about survival. Yeah. What'll happen is it just sprays rings at you as such, so you can just loop around in circles, and hopefully you'll grab enough. Oh! Oh, crap! Alright, that's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Alright. Now that Tails has been hit too, we're back in front. You want to just be careful. Keep yourself sharp until right now. And this is the final stretch. There are no straps after this. As long as you're able to get 210 by this point, you're good. So now we have all 7. Nice. Alright, that was a really good run. Slight hiccups with Tails being annoying, but we have them all now, which means we get Super Sonic, which means the rest of this game, if we can actually get rings, is going to be really, really easy. Just to show him off, obviously you all know how he works, but, well, at least hopefully you do. You might just be introduced to the series through this game, or through my playthroughs. But, just to kind of get a feel for how he works. Oh no, did I lock myself? Okay, we didn't get. I'm just gonna grab 50 rings back here, so you guys can kind of just get a feel for him. Ooh, that was a bit tight. In this game, at least, if you have 50 rings with all Chaos Emeralds and you jump, it'll automatically activate it, no matter whether or not you want it to. So, they do change that later on in games where you can toggle it in stage. So, for now though, let's just show him. So, main things with him, he's much faster, he's invincible, but he drains rings. He'll drain 1 ring every second. But yeah, he's invincible, so we just can kind of make all these bosses look like jokes. And he's already done. He has his own sprites, however, some of them are taken just from Sonic's sprites. So most of his in-air sprites, and his, like, looking up sprite, a few of his others are also just taken from regular Sonic, and it's just that the palette has changed. So we're at Chemical Plant. Another fan favorite. Everybody likes his zone. It's alright. Similar to what people say about Green Hill, though, I think it's kind of gotten overused recently. So I don't mind it, but I'm personally like not super big on it. But hey, we already have access to Supersonic, so let's just breeze through these zones now. Due to us having all Chaos Emeralds, we have the the good ending locked in. But regardless of that, oh, why did it launch me that way? It's on. Oh, it's supposed to do that. All right. Well, Sonic's spin jump, or yeah, his spin dash jump in his super form is obviously greatly boosted due to his increased speed. So if you're able to hit the right angle, you're able to like just go really far with it. Which is why I was able to make that jump. I wouldn't be able to do that without my super form on right now. But here we are at the end of the stage. Yeah, it's weird how being invincible and being faster somehow makes every zone, or not every zone, every act just go by insanely quickly. I don't get it. It's so odd. That said, though, now that we're moving on to Act 2, if you do have Supersonic by this point, you want to start being careful towards like the latter half of this stage. Specifically because it's just a lot of bottomless pit traps to where if you're going fast and you can't really like, you're not really paying attention, it'll just kill you. So, obviously, this is fun. Supersonic can still be killed by drowning, and he still can be crushed, so you just kind of want to watch out for that. Not that good if you're trying to, you know, keep your golden locks on. Anyways, here we are. And here's Supersonic again! Nice! One thing to note, I believe, is that... Actually, that's for Sonic 3. We'll get there later. So ignore me. Here we are. I believe we're approaching near where I was talking about, where we need to be watching out. You just kind of want to slow down a bit. Right. Yeah, these guys will grab you and explode, so the idea is that they'll hit you with it. But as long as you're able to watch out, they can't actually do anything to you. If you actually... Wait. No, you don't want to spin dash jump here, because that's a vertical wall. It'll launch you. Oh, can I not get this? No, I can't. Alright, that's my bad. We have to take the bottom route. Or that'll be a bit later. Anyways. Ooh. Alright, we're good. We just have to go back here. We aren't getting up. Come on. Alright, so platforming with Supersonic is a bit hard. Not a bit, it just is hard. I believe... Yes. Alright, we just skipped the infamous death box in, that presides over this, this act, where it's just really easy to drown there. You want to be careful. Take your time here, if you're both on Supersonic and without him, because that is just a bottomless pit, and then right over here, if you aren't paying attention, you'll just get dropped. And there we go. Just in time, too, Supersonic runs off. Well, we had a shield anyways, we would have been good. There's Act 2 done. For the most part now, that's only like the real hindrance towards Supersonic. We won't have anything else to worry about until Metropolis, but don't worry, we'll get there eventually. I'm genuinely wondering, because what I'm planning to do is I'm going to be doing Sonic CD and Sonic Chaos, and then I'll do my Sonic 3 video. Due to it being so large and it kind of being a milestone almost, I'm wondering if I should make it into a two-parter. Actually, it'd be probably more akin to a three-parter-ish, where parts 1 and 2 are my Sonic and Tails campaign, and then I do one with Knuckles due to him playing significantly differently also kind of just having his own run in general. So I'm kind of trying to figure out if I want to do that. So let me know in the comments if you do want to see that. I know that I only have... Ooh, that's not good. But good thing we have yellow. Oh, he looks more silverish here. Kind of like what's in Sonic 3 with Hypersonic. But, again, we'll get there. I'm planning on making part 1 of that Sonic 3 video into the Sonic 3 half of the game, and then part 2 would be the Sonic and Knuckles half. Just to kind of split it up, so that way it's both not as big of a burden on me for editing, and also, just so that you guys are able to kind of digest it a bit easier, because I know a 40-minute long video, similar to what this one might be, this might even be like 50 minutes, it's a bit more hard of a pill to swallow. But then, yeah, part 1 would be Sonic 3, part 2 would be Sonic and Knuckles, and then part 3 would just be a heavily abridged Knuckles run, so... it'll probably be a bit longer, but obviously if you don't want to watch it, you don't have to. Although I would greatly appreciate it if you did watch the video. In the meantime, though, yeah. I'm going to probably end up having to edit, if you guys have been watching these videos, whenever I have the next... Obviously, the latest video isn't that big of a problem, but whenever I have both the next Sonic video and the latest... Oh, crap. Alright, well, there goes our chance for Supersonic on this stage. Whenever I have both the next video that the latest video that I made and the next Sonic video be the same video, YouTube really doesn't like me. So, I have to try to kind of mitigate that a little bit. Well, that said, I believe we're getting close to the bus for Aquatic Ruin, of which I have not spoken about, like, at all. Because it sucks. Nah, Aquatic Ruin ain't that bad. It's a bit annoying, but it's not super terrible. The boss is a bit sucky if you don't have, Supersonic, but if you're able to get up here, it's not that bad. Yeah, you just kind of want to watch out for the giant hammer. Also, those things only ever, oh crap. Alright, we have no rings. Let's try to finish this up. Nice. As long as you always stay on top of the totem poles, you should be able to bounce off him. If you fall down, don't try to get on the arrows until after they've hit into the other totem pole. Otherwise, they'll hit you instead. But there we are. Done with Aquatic Ruin. We're already like a third of the way through the game. So that was pretty quick. Alright. So, Casino Night. Where all of our gambling addictions started back in the day. This is literally just the casino level. You'll see this a lot in later games, but kind of confused as to why they decided to do this in the first place. What is Tails doing? Lots of springs and bumpers. Again, this is kind of what Spring Yard was almost felt like it was a prototype of in Sonic 1. So, yeah. Tails is being really weird today. I don't know what. First him walking on air, and then him jittering about trying to get close. A bit odd, but here we are. You want to hold down A in order to build up energy in those springs, otherwise you really won't get anywhere. Here we are. Of course, we're stuck walking, so we can't go super until there, where we could. Let's get through the end of this. You'll notice that there's these little, if you take a different route than me, you'll notice that there's these little pinball, not pinball, no, it is pinball. It's both a pinball and a slot machine. Right there. That. You'll notice that these little slots, hopefully I don't mess it up, but, come on, get in. Sonic. Sonic. Fine. Get into the slot machine. I want to gamble with your soul. It's very hard to get anywhere, but here we are. Let's hope I don't get a really bad. Very nice 3-bar, that gives a decent amount of money. Alright, there's a couple different combinations you can get while in there. However, you don't want to get Eggman 3 times. That basically deletes any and all rings you have, unless you have like over 200. So obviously if you have over 200, then you have nothing to worry about, but if you're trying to stay in super form like I am, it's a very high risk, high reward situation. Sonic, am I getting out of the ball? Alright, anyways, there we are. Done with Act 1. Here we are at Casino Night 2. More of what we've had. Another thing I haven't gone over yet is how this game introduces the 2-act structure. So, unlike what the handhelds and 8-bit games are doing, where it's 3 acts still, but the 3rd act is mainly reserved for a boss, this just has only 2 acts, and then just at the end of the 2nd act is the boss. Here's another thing, is these slot machines. If you're trying to rack up a bunch of rings for Supersonic, these are pretty good, but after you have those rings, I don't recommend trying to go for it. That said, I'm a bit of a gambling addict, so let's just try to go for it again. And it was worth it, but we're going to leave that alone now. There's a whole bunch of combinations you can get with it. You can get a jackpot, which gives like 70 rings, and then there's also Eggman, where he'll just kind of screw you over hard. That said, though, going back to the 2-act structure thing, like I mentioned in both Sonic 1 Master System and Sonic 2 Master System, the 3-act structure in those games works because it gives a bit more replay value to it because it's a bit longer of a game. But it doesn't really work with the longer games because it just kind of feels like everything's a chore to get through. So having these games only have 2 acts is kind of the solution that they figured out, and it works pretty well. So that said, I believe we're getting close to where we fight the boss. So let's just kind of get through the rest of this zone. After this zone is Hilltop, and Hilltop Zone is pretty good. There are a few things to watch out for, though. It can be a bit pesky if you aren't super familiar. Come on. Yeah, if you have enough rings, this boss isn't that hard at all. Obviously, no boss is really all that hard whenever you can't be hurt by them. Come on, there we are. One thing to watch out for, though, whenever you're fighting a boss and you're on Supersonic, or you have Supersonic and you're using Supersonic, whenever you get out of the boss and you hit the capsule with the animals, if you have over 50 rings, be careful. There's a chance that you can encounter a glitch where once you do it, if you try to jump in the air again after you hit the capsule, like immediately after, what'll happen is you hit the capsule, and then you jump up, and it'll turn you into Supersonic, and you'll get stuck in the air, and then you're kind of soft-locked. So, you just kind of want to watch out for that. Anyways, actually talking about the zone that we're in right now, here we are at Hilltop. Very pleasing aesthetic, I'd say, for a zone. Anyways, right now we have invincibility. There's a lot of lava around, but it's not that bad to deal with if you are semi-competent. Getting up here, you have these little pulleys that'll drag you down. There's a little thing about these in Act 2 that I'll talk about when we get there. But for now, whenever you spin through this area, you want to curl into a ball by the top point. just so that you don't have to worry about dying. So here you are. Walk yourself over, go up here, whole bunch of rings, and then if you saw it, I saw it too. Up here is another thing. There's an invincibility monitor. Obviously, you don't need it if you're using supersonic. And then these rumbling sections. The Earth is gonna shift. You want to be very careful whenever you're doing this, because if you aren't, you can easily get crushed and lose supersonic, because again, he's not immune to that. Going through here. Yeah, here we are at the end. Nice. So this game only has, I want to say, 11 or 12 zones in it. So we're about at the halfway mark. Going on to Act 2. Two different routes. I usually end up just taking the bottom route, but you can do whatever, obviously. These little dino guys, they're a bit annoying. If you hit them weird, they can actually crash your game. So you want to be a bit careful around them, especially if you're playing a supersonic, because of an area, like I was talking about, that's coming up in a little bit. Watch out, these are the Orbinauts from Sonic 1, but they're a bit easier to deal with, mainly because you aren't trying to deal with them in such an enclosed space. This game much more heavily prioritized speed over the platforming that was present in Sonic 1. So go fast, but don't go too fast is kind of the motto with this game. Not the motto, the mantra. Alright, here we are. Another rumbling section. Get up here. Grab the ring box if you're able to. Go over. Nothing to worry about there. Now that we're back in here, though, I believe this is where it is. Yes. Watch out while falling down here. If you go too fast down that section, you can just fall through the lava and die, or if you hit that dinosaur guy down there, he'll just crash your game. That's where I was talking about with the crashing. Anyways, here's Eggman. We meet him. These bosses are so hard. I don't know how anybody was able to do this without Supersonic. Or with him. It's so impossible to get through. There we are. Ooh, I'm already looking at this recording session. It's been going on for like an hour. So either I'm just really bad at this game, or this takes forever. Here we are at Mystic Cave. This is a semi-bad zone. That's not that terrible. There's a whole lot of crushers, a whole lot of small guys that are really hard to see coming towards you, and stuff like that where it's just trying to kill you right off the bat. So you want to be careful. You can jump down this pit of rings, and there's a red spring to get you. That guy's a bit annoying. He'll try to lunge at you. Here we are. Supersonic. I know I'm kind of making this game trivial, but by using Supersonic all the time. But if I didn't, this recording session would be like 4 hours long, and I do not have that time. So, while we're in the middle of not doing that, we'll just keep on going. This game really likes to have springs put back and forth with each other. Don't know why. Because I believe we're getting close to the end of the stage sometime soon. I don't know if you guys really need to know this, but ooh, that was close. That was a bit too close. I don't like that. You're able to determine the sensitivity of the jump, like how high or low it is, by how long you press down the button. So a quick tap is a very short jump. If you hold down the button, it's a really big jump, like so. Anyways, here we're at 2. This is where the infamous Death Pit is, or a bit less infamously, the entrance to Hidden Palace in the remake for by Christian Whitehead. That always was supposed to be the entrance to Hidden Palace Zone, and if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I'll explain it in a second. But right now, it's just a bed of spikes that has plagued many a player that has acquired Supersonic, because if you have enough rings, you just have to basically wait for 4 minutes for you to not have to be there anymore and die. So that's fun. So here we are right now. Careful. Anyways, so what I'm talking about when it comes to Hidden Palace is that in the beta for Sonic 2, how Supersonic worked was a bit different. Here it is. Nope, it's over here. How Supersonic worked is... once you got all 7 Chaos Emeralds, rather than immediately getting access to Supersonic, I think they changed it around a bit, but what it originally was, and then what it became, was at first, once you got all 7 Chaos Emeralds, you immediately were transported, no matter which zone you were in, to what is called the Hidden Palace Zone, where you had to get through the zone in order to unlock Supersonic. But now what it is, what then they changed it to, is that in Hidden Palace, the pit of spikes was originally the entrance to Hidden Palace, and would change from the pit of spikes into that entrance whenever you got enough rings, or whenever you got all the Chaos Emeralds. And that's how you unlock Supersonic then. But now, because they removed Hidden Palace, although it was, in this version of the game, mostly done, they still ended up removing it, and not using that, so you just end up getting Supersonic immediately. But for now, that's all. Hidden Palace does return in Sonic 3. And Knuckles. So here we are at Oil Ocean. This is kind of where the stages start going to shit, but it doesn't get super awful until we get to the next zone. Oh shit. Well, that was a bit close. If you end up getting caught underneath that platform when it falls back down, that does crush you, so be careful. I was kind of lucky there. This zone does not like you having Supersonic, so if you do want it, you need to be extra cautious, unlike what I'm being right now. So there's 10. You got those little octopus dudes. Those aren't super bad. What is terrible, whenever we find them, I'll mention them. Here we are. These seahorse bitches. They float around and they spew ink blots at you that can hit you. They are really annoying and really good at taking away your rings if you aren't careful around them. But thankfully I am, so now I have our Super Saiyan knockoff. Anyways, moving on. Here we are. On these oil slides. Yeah, see, this falling animation is just Sonic's, but colored yellow. It's funny how what was I trying to say? God, I can't remember. Damn it. It's funny how the oh shit, the palette for Supersonic or the palette for Supersonic changes other elements in the stage. So, for example, you'll see that the icon is also yellow. Well, you'll notice later on, in stuff like Sonic 3, the palette is also tied to other things. So, for example, the water shield is tied to the current player's color. So, whenever you're playing through the game as, let's say, Knuckles, the water shield is red for some reason. Just getting past here. Grab some more rings, try not to lose it. We're at the end of the stage. Go, thank God. But yeah, so the palette of certain objects in the game will change depending on what your palette is, which can make certain things look really funny. Anyways, here we are at Act 2. Moving through this zone. More seahorses. I hate you with a burning passion. Leave me alone. They are not leaving me alone. I don't know how I did not get hit by that, but whatever. These platforms underneath those pipes do end up leading to places, and they'll only activate if you step on them, and then they're permanently activated up. Oh, yeah, these little springs, you have to push into them, and then they'll launch you after you push into them. These little spike grate things. Watch out for those. Platform. Oil Ocean is not having a lot going on with it. It's a bit weird. I don't know why they decided to choose it to be featured in Sonic Mania, but whatever. Personally, I would prefer something like Hilltop being featured, but we can't always have nice things. There's more rings. And here we have yellow. And I'm just doing this because this game, especially this section of the game, is a bit tedious if you don't have access to Supersonic. So, whenever I get the chance, I'm gonna take it. And you guys can't do anything about it, so ha ha ha. Turn it on though, careful. I believe we're getting close to the boss. We're only here. Ooh, no, I have to do that all again, shit. Whatever. Let's get through here. We have 50 rings still, it shouldn't be that terrible. Up here. Nice. Break that, go up there, and then this will just take us somewhere. Right here. Go this way. I believe that now we're like truly near the end. Yes, this little multiple oil slides down is where the boss is located. So here we are. The boss is not that bad if you can just get on top of him really quick. And then we have Supersonic, so we don't need to worry about it. But if you don't have Supersonic, all of these attacks that you're seeing right now, if you stay here and just keep jumping, you will be completely safe from it. So, you can't do anything to me right now, obviously, but if you need to deal with that, then that's how. There we go, we beat him. Nice. Alright, continuing on. Next is the worst zone in the game, bar none, Metropolis. It's so bad. Why did they make that? Why didn't they learn from Scrap Brain? They could have made it so much better, but no, they made it worse. So here's Metropolis. It's another Scrap Brain, but this time it's like even worse because the enemies suck. First off, you have the Starros. They just are kind of standing there. If you get in their range, they'll end up floating towards you a bit and then exploding and popping off, and they'll shoot little spikes out that can damage you. So they are a pain in the ass to deal with, just like everything else in this zone. You have these pistons where if you don't get on top of them, whenever they launch up, they do damage to you. You have those crabs where they launch their forearm at you, and for some reason, they just absolutely suck to hit without getting hit yourself. Watch out. Don't do what I did. Jump over this platform. Watch out! God damn it. Those pincer guys! They throw those at you, and their patterns are impossible to read. And they just really suck, and I hope that this stage burns, because, oh my god, we don't want this again. Ever. But unfortunately, because I'm trying to play through every game in this series, to some extent, oh shit, we will have to deal with them. That didn't hit me! This is going to be the section of the game where I start raging. Just know that outright. Because everything in this zone is a testament on what not to do with this game. Everything here sucks. It's awful. I hate it. So you guys get to hear me just yelling. So that's fun. But in these, what it does, what I even hate even more, is that in sections like this, they'll give you a whole bunch of rings. And then you just get hit anyways by random bullshit. And there's nothing you can do. Oh. Okay, he didn't notice me. Well, we'll take it. this Tails. No. Okay. Nice. Going. Trying really hard to, at the very least, get through the rest of this stage without having to deal with shit. Go down here. Don't go there. Instead, take this path. Going up. Hit the switch. Jump up here. Go over. Go up. Hit here. Oh. Here we go. Come on, come on, come on. And thank God. This stage is so much better whenever you don't have to worry about getting hit by every minuscule thing. It's crazy how that works. Alright, going down. Through. It's down here. Later on, you'll need to be careful whenever you land on these platforms, because there won't be something below it. It'll just be the infinite void of space, and that's not fun to deal with. Here we are at the end of Act 1. Now on to Act 2. I really want to get through this as quickly as possible. Alright, on to Act 2. Yay. The only good thing about this zone is that the music kind of goes hard. And then that's a move stretch. After a while, it's good in small chunks, I'll give it that. The crab get all the way to the end of his movement and jump over him. It's always the damn crabs in this game. Spin dash. Get that. Or just fall off, whatever. Jump up. Jump over. Have all those. Be careful. Careful going through that. That can very easily kill you. Another checkpoint. Won't need it, but we got it. Just keep going. Get through this stage as fast as you can. It's not fun. The best part about Supersonic is that you're able to take all the bullshit enemies that you have to deal with in the game, and you can just beat the crap out of them, and they can't do anything to you. It's so cathartic. I love it. Anyways. Continuing on. Further. Another thing I want to note is whether or not you guys would want to see me play some fan games, like Sonic fan games, and maybe some other series that I do later on, see like mods or fan games for them. Because I'd totally be down to doing it. It's just that I don't know whether or not that would drive the same attention as regular content. Probably would, but I don't know. I don't have enough of a fan base at this point to really make that call. So, if you guys want to let me know whether or not that's good, I might put up a poll, or you can just let me know in the comments. Staros are annoying, but the good news is that if you're supersonic, not only do they not hurt you, but you can actually bust them up before they pop. The only reason you can't normally is because the spikes will knock you back before you can actually hit them. Here we are at the end of Act 2. No boss. Why is that? Are we just done with it and we get to finally move on from this hellhole of a zone? No! We get Metropolis Act 3! The entire reason for this, I'm pretty sure, is that going back to the talk of Hidden Palace Zone, I believe what it was is that they reworked Hidden Palace Zone, because it was supposed to only be one act, into... Because they had the leftover data, they just reworked it into Metropolis Act 3, which, fine, if you want to reuse data, that's whatever. Use it on a better zone next time, guys. Please? This zone sucks. Why did you choose this one to get an extra act added? There's like 8 others you could choose from that would have been better. Another thing about the Starros is that they'll try to position themselves to pop you or to hit you with their little spikes, so you just want to be careful while moving. Run, 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 alright. Alright, we aren't getting that, but we'll get a next round. Act 3 is one of the most bullshit levels that we've come across to date. Probably is the most bullshit level we've come across to date, but don't worry, we'll find worse. Come on, we're one ring short. There it is. Thank God. Now it's just a matter of trying to get through this shit as fast as possible. Oh shit! Okay, no, thank God. It's the next one, it's the next one. That's what I'm talking about, is that one of these in Act 3 is a bottomless pit, and it's just before the boss, so if you aren't careful near it, you'll just lose all your rings directly before the boss, and have no shield. So it's just there to basically be one final fuck you from this zone, which, of course, is just, oh, so fun. But oh, thank God. In the meantime, let's try to not lose all of our rings yet. Here it is. We're probably not gonna have enough. We're not probably gonna have any rings by the time that we do get there. No, we'll have enough. Okay. Try to get through this as quickly as possible. The entire idea behind this is that every hit sends out an extra clone that can damage you, but as long as you keep hitting him, fine. You'll move down, and then you just have to hit him. Now we're actually done with this zone. Finally! I hate this zone. Why did they include it? It ruins a perfectly good game. Anyways, we get to move on from this garbage onto slightly less garbage. But still kind of boring. Sky Chase. It's an auto-scroller. You can't move faster than the screen. Tails is slow, and you kind of need to keep on the plane, otherwise you fall to your death. Supersonic isn't exactly recommended, because he actually moves faster than Tails can keep up with, meaning that if you just, like, try to walk to the other side of the screen and go faster than him, you'll fall off and just die. And there's no checkpoints in this zone, because it's one giant sky level. The good news is that there's nothing really super complicated in it, though. So, if you really do have problems with it, that's kind of a you thing. But as long as you're paying attention a little bit, you shouldn't do too bad. Oh, that's rough. There we go. I'm having a really good score, but that's probably just because this game is like over twice as long as the first. Ooh. There's our next zone. That is the Wing Fortress zone. Don't worry, we'll get to it in like a minute or so, maybe less. Anyways, as we continue on, there's not a whole lot left to do. We just have to kind of wait for the game to give us a break. And there's 46 rings. Just be a bit careful. Once these turtle dudes shoot one bullet at you, they don't get to shoot another one. So, if they've shot once already, you're safe to be in front of them. Anyways, this is the end of the zone. Here we are at Wing Fortress. And Tails fucking dies. He gets shot down, so it's up to us to get through the rest of the zone. Fun. Anyways, this game already gives you like almost 40 rings flat out before you're even done within like the first 20 seconds of the zone. so it's kind of just, I think it's just kind of the idea of, okay, well, if you have supersonic, you're basically at the end of the game, just tear through it and get done with it already. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Go up here, go through here. People sometimes kind of seem to lump Wing Fortress and Sky Chase together as one zone. Kind of because each one's only one act long, and I kind of see it. But also, they don't say that, so I don't care. I'm gonna still say that this is 2 separate zones. Anyways, moving on. You can hop up over this, over these little pillars of the zone, and it will skip most, if not all, of the actual tedious parts of the zone and just get you right to the boss. Bust that open, go down here, and you're trapped in this little thing where you just have to hit this laser beam multiple times. I think I only hit it 7 times there, but whatever. Open, open. You get 1 life if you go into the cockpit there. Walking down here. For some reason, Sonic's sprite changes back to being his standard Sonic sprite instead of Supersonic. And Tails was able to put a rocket onto the bottom of the tornado, and that somehow lets it fly again. Don't know how it's really going vertical without him moving vertical himself, but you know what? It's an old game. We don't worry about it. Sonic hops onto Eggman's rocket ship, and now we get higher and higher, and we are in space. That was way longer than I thought it would be. But here we are, and now we are at the Death Egg, the final level of the game. A couple things to note about the Death Egg. First off, you get no rings. Second, it's basically a gauntlet, where you go 2 against bosses. 3, 4. This is Silver Sonic, unsimilar from the Silver Sonic that you would have fought in Sonic 2 Master System. Anyways, he's already dead. Here's where our true problem lies. Out of the ground rises the Death Egg Robot. This bitch takes 16 hits to kill, and it is very unforgiving with its placement of hits. It's very restrictive. How this boss works is he'll rise up, little target appears on you, he drops back down, and then you have to aim correctly to hit him. You want to dodge out of the way, he bounces forward, and that's your prime opportunity to hit him as such. So, now, keep him in the corner over here. You want to keep him to the edges, that way when you hit him, you can run away and his arms won't grab you, because they extend really far. That said, drop him back down here. It's a very predictable pattern, but this can be a bit devious if you aren't prepared to deal with it. So anyways, there we go, nice. Alright, we killed him. Now run, get the hell out of there, the Death Egg explodes. And we're done with the game. A little cutscene. I believe that's supposed to be the Death Egg exploding, but for some reason they decided to make this like monochrome, so you can't see shit. Tails onlooks. Realizing what he needs to do, starts the tornado. Flies off. Now, this is a lot more impactful if you get the bad ending, because Sonic doesn't have Supersonic and can't just fly. Don't know how he's doing this right now with no rings, but you know what, whatever. Tails actually catches him, but Sonic survived falls from space later on. He'll be fine without Supersonic. Anyways, this is still a pretty cool ending. Either way. But, This has been Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And so, thanks for watching. And I hope you guys have a good day. I completely forgot to mention, this is editing hollow right now. We're going to be playing through Sonic the Hedgehog CD for our next game. Sorry for leaving that out of the video. Just gonna run that back really quick.